Thank you for joining us. We are your co-hosts. My name is Monica.
I'm Cash,
And I'm Nova.
and welcome to Anxious at Bedtime, the podcast for bedtime. If you want to be anxious, I suppose.
So I do have a few things I want to talk about first. I did just find out, first of all, that apparently the number one cause for house fires is bathroom fans.
Oh my God.
I know, he had to deal with this. I already went through and cleaned all of our fans.
She was thinking about telling all the fucking neighbors too.
But yeah, because if our neighbors' houses catch fire, ours could catch fire, and that scares me. But it's good to know anyway, because first of all, you need to clean your fan, because if your bathroom fan is not clean, it's not going to work, and then you can get mold. And second of all, if you leave that shit running, apparently you can start fires in your attic, which is above all of your smoke detectors, so your smoke detector isn't going to notice until it's way too late. So go clean your bathroom vents. And an easy way that you can check to see if they need to be cleaned is you tear off two pieces of toilet paper and put it up against the vent. And if it stays there on its own, you're good.
Also, if you don't have an attic, don't think you're safe because your ventilation still has to go somewhere so that
Yeah.
fire will still start above or be sucked somewhere.
Yeah, in the crawl space or whatever, because we don't have an attic, but all of our stuff is up there. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Protect your houses.
Thank you. It was very informative.
The second thing I want to talk about, I'm so excited to talk about, and I've been waiting and waiting to tell you, Nova, because I wanted to record it. So, oh, kitty bang.
Yeah, she really wanted you to know her cat scratch fever is real.
No, not that. She just clawed me. But so this past weekend, we went to the Idaho State Penitentiary, which is like a museum. It used to be an old prison, but now it's a museum, and you can walk around and like look at all of the old buildings and holding cells and that type of stuff.
That's awesome.
It was so busy because it's the weekend before Halloween. It was, well, I don't know, it could always be busy, but it was popping.
It was fucking popping.
That's awesome. They're like, it's Halloween. I gotta see those prison ghosts.
Yeah, right. But it wasn't awesome because the vibes just weren't right. Not in a bad way. It just felt like the ghosts were like, fuck that. I'm not coming out to say hi. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're like, you guys only come here on Halloween. Fuck you.
Right? Something.
Like, there's way too many of you fuckers here. We're gonna chill and just watch how dumb you are.
Like we were draining the ghosts' energy. Aw. They're like, okay, but everybody home by
We
9.
became energy vampires.
Oh, speaking of energy vampires, small sidetrack here real fast. We started watching a show called What We Do in the Shadows on Hulu, and it's so goddamn funny. I recommend it to
Ooh,
everybody.
that.
Yeah, it's good. But anyway, back to the prison. So we were kind of just enjoying ourselves exploring because, like I said, it didn't feel like a very ghost hunty moment. But then we found ourselves alone in what?
I was gonna interrupt and say face to face with a demon.
No, thank God, no. But we found ourselves alone in this, what's it called? Solitary confinement.
Yeah, the solitary
Mm,
confinement.
Yeah. Which was this little
You know the
small,
place.
it was this little small like hut, basically, like a tool shed almost, with 6 holding cells,
Five.
5 cells that were tiny. Like I could go in there and stretch out my arms and touch each side, like the walls, you know what I mean?
yeah. I'd hate that.
Yeah. And
They were supposed to hold like 5 to 8 people each.
yeah,
Sheesh.
Yeah, they like laying on the floor. If you were, they were like 5 by 5. I'm
yeah.
not even exaggerating.
So we were in the solitary confinement. We were completely alone, and we went to the like very far back to the left, that cell. And for some reason, I was like, let me pull out my EMF reader, and that bitch lit up.
Oof, I bet though.
So we tested it a few times, and at first it seemed like it was coming off of Cash, and he was holding like our what's it called, like
Our Zoom
recorder.
recorder.
Yeah, our Zoom recorder so that we can listen through to make sure we didn't hear any or we didn't not hear anybody talking like ghosts and stuff. It's how we caught stuff at that graveyard before. But so we thought maybe it was coming off of that, and we tested the entire rest of the time we were there. It did not light up again at all. but it went off like 3, 4, 5 times in that little cell.
Yeah. And then once people came near it, it quit going off.
Yeah.
We left for a couple of seconds, like maybe a whole minute after everybody else had left. We went back in and never fucking happened again.
Mm-mm.
It only happened that one period of time. And no, it wasn't a fucking defect.
No. It was just in that one spot, that one cell. It didn't happen anywhere else in the entire prison,
That's crazy.
isn't it? And earlier I was going through my pictures, and the pictures that I took in that cell, all of them are blurry. None of the other pictures anywhere
Oh,
else are, but the ones in that cell are blurry.
Well, maybe you were shaking, you were scared.
Maybe.
that's fucking crazy.
Yeah. So we did not experience much, but we experienced whatever that was.
No, thank you.
Does anybody else have anything they want to talk about?
Yeah. So for all of those who've been sitting there wondering and asking when is it going to be a cash episode? Probably not for a long, long time. Just want to put that out there.
All
All
right.
right. Nova, you got anything?
I don't think that I do.
All right, then let's get this episode started. Nova, would you like to start your part?
Sure. All right, everyone. My part for this special spooky episode is about Dia de los Muertos, or Day of the Dead. Some people refer to it as quote unquote Mexican Halloween, and to those that do, you're wrong. Don't fucking call it that.
Right there. I thought you were going to say, for those of you who do, fuck you. Like I thought that would have been fitting.
I was tempted. Seriously, just don't do it. It's not the same. I just had to make that point clear. It's a completely different holiday that has a lot of interesting history to it. And speaking of that history, let's dive into it. The ritual itself is estimated to be around 3,000 years old, deeply rooted in Aztec and other Mesoamerican traditions. Despite it being most strongly identified with Mexico, it's celebrated throughout Latin America and anywhere there's Latino population. The Aztec Empire was celebrating Dia de los Muertos way before Spanish conquistadors invaded and merged it with Catholicism to create the traditions we know today. The original holiday was intended to celebrate the Lady of the Dead, Queen of Mictlan, the underworld. Her responsibility was to watch over the bones of past lives, as believed by the Aztecs. These bones of past lives were believed to create new life in the land of the living. And also, this Lady of the Dead, her name is pretty fucking hard to pronounce, but it's oh shit.
If you say La Llorona, I'm going to say you're wrong.
No, no, it's like Mictacasihuat. I'm so sorry. I should have practiced that more. I had a feeling I should have written down like the pronunciation, but I was like I got this.
Yeah, you can look it up a bunch of times and be certain that you know how to say it, and then as soon as we start recording, it's gone from your memory.
I got another excellent idea. Next time, just go holler at Poppy. Be like, hey, Poppy, how do I say this shit?
It's fair.
For real though. Once a year, she'd ascend to the land of the living to check on the bones and make sure they were being cared for properly. Upon her arrival, the Aztecs held celebrations of death with food, dancing, and bonfires to thank her for her protection. When the conquistadors invaded, they brought Catholicism with and forced indigenous people they conquered to convert. After seeing the Aztec celebrations of death, they began fusing that tradition with the Catholic holidays All Saints' Day and All Souls' Day, which ironically are also both pagan holiday adapted unofficially into Catholic practice during the medieval ages. Well, these people are just taking everyone's holidays and making them their own. Really just out here fusing holidays together to get the ones that we know today. During these festivals in Spain, families decorated graves, brought food to grave sites, and lit the way for the dead to return to their family. These practices blended into the celebrations we know today. The original goddess, the Lady of the Dead, as mentioned before, was replaced in modern day celebrations by La Catrina, a skeleton woman that wears a floral European hat with feathers. La Catrina was actually born, if you will, by cartoonist Jose Guadalupe Posada, who intended the image to mock those who tried being more European and ignored their indigenous roots. He believed death was democratic, and that in the end, we all end up being skeletons, no matter our status in life. And honestly, I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. I mean, scientifically, he's not wrong.
Yeah, for real. But it was pretty cool. Like, so he literally just drew up that cartoon, like to mock people and stuff. And then they were just like, "Hey, this should be our new icon for Day of the Dead." So it happened,
Yeah, that's wild.
right? And that was like back in 1910. Another thing too that the Aztecs believed was that when a person died, they traveled to I'm so sorry, Checunanitlan, or the land of the dead. They had to get through 9 challenging levels, which could take years before their souls could reach Mictlan, which is the final resting place. This was a huge part of why people would put food and drinks out for their deceased loved ones, so that they could help them in their journey in the afterlife. I think that's so sweet.
It is.
Now let's dive into the holiday we know in.
Let's go back just a second.
Okay.
I have a question. Now, let's say somebody just doesn't know and they happened upon some of this food or beverage and they so happen to eat or drink it.
I swear if you've done that.
I've never done that. I've got respect and culture. The fuck? I think I probably taught you a lot about your own culture. Get out of here.
Okay.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm honestly not too sure. I mean, you might get haunted, something might not happen at all, or like in the movie Coco, which I was gonna talk about later too, like he steals the dead guy's guitar and then he goes to the land of the dead.
I feel like it would attach the ghost it was intended for to you, at least for the night.
Does that ghost then get to go around consuming all the shit you're trying? Oh, is that why people fucking knock over all their food and drink all the time?
Oh shit,
They think they're
maybe.
just clumsy and it's the ghost that they accidentally ate the food or drink intended for. And that ghost's like, fuck your Cheetos, knocks him down.
I don't
Fuck
think
your beer, kicks his fucking beer. Like, that's their one ghost feature they got that.
I don't think that probably happens that much, honey.
Not that much, but it's possible.
All right.
The ghost just
All right.
watching someone taking their food. Aww.
Oh,
My journey.
The ghost was literally just going to it, like, fucking A, dude. They made me the best. I mean, the best food. I can't wait to get there. And they're like rounding the corner and they see fucking young Chewy over in the corner fucking chewing on it. Like, fuck you, Chewy.
Hopefully that doesn't happen.
I hope not.
Now let's dive into the holiday we know more today. It's celebrated between October 31st through November 2nd. The gates of heaven open and the spiritual veil thins at midnight on the 31st. It's said that the spirits of the children rejoin their families on the 31st for 24 hours, while adults can do the same on November 2nd. The holiday can also include parades and costumes to celebrate. It sounds so fun. Either in their homes or at the grave sites, or both. Families make offering altars, or ofrendas, to honor their deceased loved ones, and they fill them with the deceased favorite foods and drinks, items that the person might have loved, candles, usually their pictures too, and flowers like marigolds. Symbols related to the holiday are skeletons and skulls, or calacas y calaveras, and also, of course, La Calavera Catrina, which we talked about it earlier. People commonly wear skull masks, sugar skull makeup, and eat sugar candy molded into a skull shape, along with lots of other foods and beverages, from sweet to savory and spicy. Even though its roots have been changed and evolved over the years, the meaning behind the holiday is just so sweet and has remained the same. It's a time for families to come together and celebrate loved ones that have passed in a beautiful, fun way. It also shines a more positive light on death in a way like once you die, it's not just nothing, like you're continuing your journey on the other side. It won't be forgotten and will always be loved and remembered and celebrated by family. It's a really beautiful holiday and a great way to honor lost loved ones. Feliz Dia de los Muertos, or Happy Day of the Dead, everyone.
Yeah, no, I agree. It sounds fun.
I know, right? I want to celebrate it so bad.
I would love to see the actual celebration in person someday. There's so many pretty colors, and I'm sure it smells so good too. I don't know why, but I get that vibe. All the food.
Hmm. All the food and the flowers. Ugh.
I feel that like that would really depend on the day. Like, is it the
Oh,
first day they put the food out? Did they put new food out every day? 'Cause, like different meals throughout the day.
probably, yeah.
Nova.
I should have looked up what they do with the food afterwards, too.
Yeah.
I gotta know.
I could see them putting food out every day.
Yeah, me too. Or every meal, even when they eat, they put out a plate.
Hmm. Because, like, if you think about it, like, not only are they doing it for, like, a celebration for that person, but also with the idea of that person is on a journey in the afterlife and they need to re up, if you will, or whatever. So, yeah, they'd need as much food as they can.
Well, yeah, but let's be fair. In this economy,
That's fair too, though.
That's valid.
I don't know. Good questions.
it's
Yeah,
good.
I don't know how to transition out of that.
If you liked Mexican Halloween, wait for Irish Halloween.
You're silly. Um, but I guess that's as good of a transition as any.
do that.
Um,
Don't leave that shit in.
Look, if you're gonna say it, I'm gonna leave it in.
All right, let's play this game.
No, but I will leave that in because I don't know how to transition. So
Oh, fuck. It was a joke,
I can
guys.
transition with a question.
okay, do it.
So, now that we talked about that tradition for that part of the world, Monica, why don't you tell us about the research you did?
Um, I can try a little bit, but I have to be honest with everyone. I had great expectations for this episode like 2 weeks ago, and then I got sick, and the brain fog and the fatigue, and I still sound very nasally. I don't know if you can tell, hopefully not, but nobody wants to hear me talk for very long.
I do.
That's why you married me.
Oh yeah.
um, but so the research is not what I was hoping for this episode. And the research that I did do was done in the midst of a serious, what's it called? A kind of a fever dream. So,
Yeah, we even took a little trip and she was feverish the whole time.
yeah, we ended up spending the whole trip sleeping in the hotel room on separate beds. But anyway, yeah, we've had better trips for sure. But I felt much better the next morning. Definitely still sick, but much better than I was. So, I don't really remember what research I have, but we will find out together.
Intrigued.
So I can't talk about Halloween without talking about Samhain. First of all,
What's that now?
yeah, the
For,
spelling and the pronunciation are very weird.
for those who don't know, it is not Sam Hain.
It is not Samhain. It's spelt that way, Samhain, but it is pronounced Samhain.
Get it right, fucker.
Samhain is often credited as the birth of Halloween as we know it. It's a Gaelic festival celebrated through Scotland and Ireland, and traditionally celebration starts on October 31st, just like Dia de los Muertos. I can't say that with my nasally. Starts on October 31st and continues through November 1st. But sometimes it does carry on for several days. I don't remember. I remember trying to look into why it sometimes continues for days, but I don't remember the answer. So we'll just move on. But this date specifically was used because it's almost the exact halfway point between the au- autumnal equinox and the winter solstice. Those are very hard words to say when you're nasally.
Should ask Franz.
Who's Fran? Oh, the fish.
Franz Drescher.
Oh, Fran, not Franz.
I'm trying to classy the shit up.
Franz is a bread.
Franz is a bakery, asshole. And you don't have to. How about Franz Drescher?
Kevin got a drink of water, and there's a little water droplet hanging off his chin.
Oh, I love when that happens. It's so cute.
Me too. But anyway, back to the story. Oh, it's my part. Okay, hold on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm still not fully there, but
Welcome to my week, folks. Have you guys ever had the same argument 3 times in a row? Never reaching a
With myself,
conclusion,
yes.
only to continue the next day.
sorry. I love you though. You've been a trooper and you've taken such good care of me. I appreciate it.
You're welcome, and I love you too. Have you
Okay.
guys ever seen Groundhog's Day?
So, Samhain served as a way to celebrate the harvest and also welcome in the darkest half of the year, which is winter. And I think, if I remember right, it also was to like try to bring in blessings for winter because, especially back in older times, winter was often when you would see the most death and experience the most hardships. And so they would try to kind of like almost like a mass prayer type thing. Like they would just manifesting all of that, trying to bring in good luck, good energy for the winter.
I like that.
Yeah, me too. And it is believed to have Celtic pagan origins. One thing that I found interesting that I hadn't ever heard of is there are Neolithic passage tombs, which are burial chambers that are covered in stone and dirt and earth from the time period between 4000 to 2500 BC that are built and set up in such a way that they align with the sunrise during Samhain. And these tombs are in both Britain and Ireland. So on Samhain, the morning of November 1st, when the sun rises, it lights up these tombs, which is interesting too, because early literature has been found that says not only do people celebrate by coming together and enjoying large feasts and doing stuff like that, but they also opened up the tombs and the burial mounds, which they believed meant they were opening portals to the other world. And then as the sun rose on November 1st, it would light up those portals. And that's all I wrote on that, so I don't know where I was going.
Oh, that's
That's
crazy.
sick, though.
Yeah, I think it would be so cool to see. And it sounds like such a beautiful, kind of different way to celebrate than anything I've heard of before.
Mhm.
And I like that that really brings in like a physical representation of the portals to the other world opening instead of just, I don't know, like you hear the world or the veil thins and people can come and go. But I didn't know that people were actually like thinking they were opening portals. It reminded me of Halloween Town, the
You know
bus
what it
station.
reminds me of?
Hmm.
People think that, ancient times there was some alien civilizations.
Oh.
There's such advanced shit everywhere. They like, you think we do some creative shit like that? No, we'd use some technology and be like, there's an alarm clock. It lights up. What do you want? Like, we'll do it that way. But like the fucking crazy ways that they did in ancient times, like, come on, man.
I have no idea what you mean by any of that.
Like how they said that a lot of the pyramids and everything were constructed by help from, aliens,
Mm-hmm.
or they were a far more advanced people than we
Mm-hmm.
give them credit for. What were they building that you can, the light hits on the beginning of Samhain?
Tombs.
Oh, so tombs were just constructed to illuminate like this and just be beautiful? No. That's alien intervention, dog.
Okay, that's what you're getting at. Maybe, yeah.
I could see it.
That would be fun.
Or at least something magical. Maybe the shit's charmed or something.
Right? Yeah. But that's all the research I have on Samhain. So,
Do your own research.
yeah, to your own. No, we'll probably retouch on it next Halloween, but hopefully I won't be sick next Halloween. But I did look a little bit into Halloween traditions and why we do them. So first up is jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh yeah. So also you got to know. Do you have the Samhain practice for jack-o'-lanterns?
I don't know what you mean.
So for Samhain
Mhm.
in Ireland, they don't carve jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh yeah, I have that.
Okay.
Well, you can tell it.
I was just gonna say they fucking carve turnips.
Yeah.
Yeah, those things are fucking mean looking too.
Yeah.
Some of them they more terrifying than any jack-o'-lantern you've ever seen.
Yeah, they're very scary looking.
I can see why people are like, yeah, this is a fucking sign.
I think we should go back to it.
Yeah, if I went to fucking go trick or treat at somebody's house as a kid and they had one of those carved fucking things, I'd be like, what the fuck is going on here, dude?
They kind of look like shrunken heads. If you've ever been to like a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, it looks like the shrunken heads they have there.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah. So they used to also carve other produce like potatoes and beets. And if you've ever eaten a beet, you know those things are blood red. Could you imagine carving one of those and leaving it on your front porch?
That'd be so scary.
The knocks from the sheriffs
Yeah.
and the cops, like, the fuck are you doing? I thought that was a dead guy from the street.
I'm so intrigued by the thought of
You know?
that. Somebody please a beat and send us pictures. But yeah, so jack-o'-lanterns. This fan favorite tradition actually started in Ireland, like Cash said, in the 19th century. And instead of carving pumpkins, they would carve faces into all of the other produce that we talked about, and even some more than that. It is believed people started carving into produce because of a legend of a man known as Stingy Jack. Stingy Jack was a man that tried to outsmart the devil, and he trapped him and only agreed to release him when the devil had promised to prevent Stingy Jack from ever going to hell. But when Jack died, he found out that just because he was not allowed in hell didn't mean he was allowed in heaven. And so he was forced to wander the earth for eternity.
Damn. He's like, I'm so clever. And then he's like, shit.
Yeah, oh, fuck. Can't outsmart the devil, folks. At least that's what I hear.
But you can out fucking fiddle him. I hear that.
I have heard that, yeah. But people were scared of Stingy Jack, and in order to ward him off and other spirits, they wanted to use light. But lanterns at the time obviously were very expensive. What?
Oh shit, that makes sense too. Because if I fucking lit a turnip on fucking fire and all bloody, or that fucking what was the other one you say? A radish?
Beet.
Beets,
Radishes
dude?
too, though, yeah.
Yeah, you fucking carve one of them bitches up with a scary face and light that shit on fire. I'm that wretched Jack guy. I'm not going there either. Like the fuck, I told you. As a
Yeah.
cop, I'd be like, "The fuck is wrong with you?" And I'm getting paid for that. That's the only reason I'm stopping there. As this Jack fella, I'm like, "Fuck that house, dog. I'm
No.
going to one that doesn't have that creepy shit."
Yeah.
Get it? Game recognized game.
Yeah. Basically, yeah, that's it. Lanterns were very expensive and hard to come by, so they carved into produce and then they would put candles inside. It didn't start out as face carvings, it was kind of just like poking holes in it so that light could come out. But at some point, they decided to start creating faces and making it fun, and jack-o'-lanterns were born. So thank you, Stingy Jack, I guess.
Yeah.
If he fucking shows up and says you're welcome, I'm carving a beet or a pumpkin or a turnip, not a pumpkin.
Not a pumpkin. No, but I think carved pumpkins are probably my favorite Halloween fall decoration. They're so cute. And I love those porches that are like they have steps leading up to the big doorway and there's just pumpkins all over. Oh,
For real though.
that's the dream. I did just see this is sorry, kind of sidetrack. You know how people have started painting pumpkins instead of carving?
Yeah, lame fuck.
Alright, that's what
No.
we're doing this year.
I
Lame
love it.
fucks.
I love it. I think it's so cute and it's so much more creative. You know how I love the pumpkins that have the like the hemorrhoids all over them?
Yeah, gourds. They're called gourds.
The gourds.
And no kids are gonna get scarred like me because you ain't allowing them no fucking knives. Huh?
Yeah, kids don't need to come out of Halloween with scars, honey.
That
Anyway,
wasn't Halloween. That was a random fucking Wednesday.
listen. I saw somebody paint a pumpkin and it was one of the ones that were covered in warts. And they painted it like a spooky cauldron that was bubbling over.
Oh, that's so
The
sick.
cutest painted pumpkin I've ever seen. Yeah. So I kind of want to do it now. We didn't buy any pumpkins or anything this year. Because we put everything off to the last minute because we moved, and then I got sick. And so now all of a sudden it's Halloween, like right now as you're listening to this, and we've done nothing. I'm so sad.
I was gonna say let's do it this weekend, but
Yeah, Halloween's
mean,
over.
maybe pumpkins will be on sale.
Maybe. Or they'll all be rotten.
Probably
You could
not.
probably work with that.
And then when we're done with it, fucking throw it somewhere. Just drive down the street and fucking chuck it.
No. Anyway, it's very cute. So if you find yourself wanting to paint a pumpkin today, I recommend looking up that video. I've seen a few of them now and they're adorable. And very
When you're
spooky.
done with it, just fucking chuck it.
Don't do that.
Not at people or things.
No, if you have a backyard, you're supposed to throw it in your backyard because it feeds birds and squirrels, and then you can grow your own pumpkins next year.
And if you don't have a backyard, fucking chuck it into some field
Into your trash can.
where it'll feed some fucking birds.
Shut up.
You're only qualified to feed the wildlife if you have your own backyard. That's rude.
I don't know. I feel like you're not supposed to tell people to throw. Is it littering if it's a gourd? I don't know.
Probably.
Yeah, so don't litter.
But that's where it came from, was the fucking field, dude. Maybe not that one, but it's
Don't litter, but discard wisely.
there's no additive to it. In fact, you subtracted part of it. You made it more biodegradable.
This episode is so chaotic. I'm so sorry.
I love it.
So weigh in on your guys' ways of disposing pumpkins and gourds. And here soon, just be thinking of it because it's coming up fast,
Yeah, it
Christmas.
is.
But I'm gonna need to know how you dispose of your Christmas trees too. Do you light them on fire in your own living room, somebody else's?
My grandparents light them on fire in their front yard.
Not anymore, because we have a fake tree now. We've had a fake tree for years.
Yeah, us too.
I've never been in the habit of lighting something on fire in front of somebody's house.
Honestly, the reason that we started, or the reason we bought a fake tree was because we didn't know how to discard of our tree.
That's fair. Oh, there's this one place that I just saw on Facebook. I don't remember where it was, but
Yeah.
you literally just like rent trees from them. And then after the holiday, you bring the tree back and they replant it, and then you can do the same thing next year.
Oh,
That's a lot of fucking work. I won't want to take it back down there after the holiday. I already know that. So look, this
you
is
can have-
this is
no.
how dead ass I am about it.
in a previous house we lived in.
Yeah, in a previous house we lived in, we got that flyer that the Boy Scouts of America would dispose of our fucking tree for like $5. Not
Yeah.
even that. They said for free. But if you could donate at least $5, right?
That was fantastic. You just
Okay.
had to set it on the curb and they came and picked it
Oh,
up.
that's so convenient.
Outside of that, the other house previous to that one, we learned that if you just leave it in the fucking backyard and move, Jennifer will dispose of it. Like the fuck. And then the last house, I'm pretty not the last one, but the one previous to that. I'm pretty sure if we did that shit again and didn't get a fake tree, I think we did do that shit there.
No, one year we took it out to Nana's house, I'm pretty sure.
I'm just saying, most of the time we've learned if you leave it in your own backyard, dude, it fucking works itself out. And we were not in the fucking rural fucking woods
No,
or
but-
anything like that.
We've mostly lived pretty rural places with really big backyards.
No, I'm saying we weren't. It wasn't rural.
I can't say that word again. Don't make me.
Yeah, you couldn't say it the first time. But I'm saying like we weren't like Farmville. We're in the city.
Yeah.
City limits. Like
Yeah.
we're still in the city. We're just not in a fucking densely populated neighborhoods.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. So be thinking about what to do with your trees if you get real ones and let us know.
And do you guys huck those into fields? Is that recommended?
I think one year we did chop it up and put it in our yard waste bin. I don't know if you're supposed to do that, but
I did not, so don't accuse me.
anyway, on to another tradition, costumes. Costumes first started being worn because people believed if they blended in with the ghosts and spirits wandering the earth, the ghosts and spirits would leave them alone.
Yeah, you seen some of those scary ass fucking costumes from like
Yeah.
the early
I was
1900s?
gonna
Yeah.
say that they used to look so scary.
Yeah, the early ones were
For
terrifying.
real.
Even the ones that weren't supposed, or at least didn't seem like they were supposed to be scary, were so scary, like Santa Claus. Have you seen those?
Oh, I don't think so, but this sounds
Have
terrifying.
you seen some of the kids?
The Easter Bunny?
No, I'm not. That was for Easter.
Oh.
I'm just talking like any of the kids in costumes back in the day. They fucking found out what they looked like and they were scared of themselves. They were like, "What the fuck?" They looked at their siblings and they thought they were going to die there.
Yeah, there's some scary costumes. Holy cow.
Nowadays, you look over and you're like, you're the worst fucking Jake Paul I've ever seen, bud.
Who's Jake Paul? Oh, never mind.
That was so great.
Oh, man.
Anyway, yeah, they thought if they could blend in, they'd be safe, and that's where that started.
Oh god, that was
The worst
perfect.
part is she's sitting there looking at me offended, like, Jake Paul, what? Are they trying to fucking rip off RuPaul's personality?
That's exactly what I thought. They're related to RuPaul. I love RuPaul.
Oh gosh.
You didn't even vocalize that. I'm just telling you that's how well I know you.
Okay, next up, trick-or-treating. There were a few different theories, apparently, but I only looked up one, I guess, for the for the reason behind trick-or-treating. One of them is tied to a thing called souling, where people would travel around local homes and try to collect food in exchange for prayers on All Souls Day. This eventually got turned into a thing called guising, which is a Scottish tradition where children would do the same thing, children and people that were poor, and they would go around, they would ask for food and stuff in exchange for singing or jokes instead of prayers.
That's so sad they had to do that though.
Under the guise.
Right? I kind of like that idea though. If somebody knocked on my door and was like, "Hey, will you give me food if I tell you a joke?" I mean, don't knock on my door.
Who the fuck are we kidding? If somebody knocks on your door, you're like, oh my God, and you hide and look at the Ring camera.
Yeah.
And then you fucking text me and ask me if I know who it is.
And then I'd text
I'm
you.
new here too.
And then I text you and be like, "Hey, give them food. They're gonna tell us a joke."
What if the tables were turned and someone came to your door and was like, "Hey, if you tell me a good enough joke, I'll give you food." I'd do it. I'd so do it.
I'd have to know where's the food from, and then I'd panic to try to figure out a joke.
Not me. I'd have to. So there'd be a level to this. I'd have to, what kind of food?
Yeah.
Is it seafood? What's in it? Hold on. Who made this? Where was it made?
If I saw tamales, I would have no questions whatsoever, and I'd just comply.
Oh, that's fair. If the tamale lady came to my door and
Oh
was
my
like, "Hey,"
God. Dream come true.
now on to bobbing for apples. This horrible game
Yeah, gross.
originated in Britain. Yeah, oh gosh. I remember they used to try to do it at the Halloween parties at our elementary school. Terrible idea. Don't have children. No. Oh, gross, gross, gross.
Especially children. They're the most slobbery.
Yeah, slobbery and it's not a good time.
At least two are always
Yeah, dude,
sick.
they got boogers all over. And like, no. Do you have any idea how many things I didn't do as a fucking kid, like in elementary school, because the shit was fucking gross? It made no sense to me.
Yeah, I
Like-
get that.
Bobbing for apples, you got me fucked.
Wow.
Ah,
Plus, I didn't want to put my face, especially wearing Halloween makeup or anything. I'm not putting my face in a bowl full of water that everybody else is. I don't even drink out of water fountains if I can help it.
yeah, I told you I don't take baths sitting in your ass
Valid.
water. I don't do that shit. Like public pools? No, I did
No.
it. I did it. Was I a fan? Fuck no.
Mm.
Felt disgusting after, not just because of chlorine, because I was like, whose Band-Aid is this, dude?
No.
You know?
I think there was only one time I ever bobbed for apples, and also the only one time I ever had the opportunity. It was at
Yeah.
Orangey's Halloween party years and years and years ago
Mm-hmm.
at the farmhouse.
I remember that party.
I was a boss. I don't remember too many people doing it though.
No, I don't really remember bobbing for apples, but I definitely remember that Halloween party.
That was the Halloween party I started my period.
Oh, I didn't remember that.
My very first one. I fucking started a Halloween night.
Do you want me to cut that or leave it in, you spooky bitch?
Leave it in. I'm not.
Okay.
I'm not ashamed. I think it's crazy cool.
It is pretty cool.
For those of you guys who don't know, a period is when I'm just kidding.
Speaking of periods, there are periods in my notes, so we're gonna keep on reading. Um,
Great segue.
Thank you. Bobbing for apples originated in Britain as a sort of dating game.
See
It
the fuck?
was kind of more of a courting ceremony, but you get the idea.
Yeah, because they weren't allowed to fucking kiss. They couldn't have any physical contact. So they were like,
Ew.
here, put your mouth in this fucking water and suck on this apple. I just did it. Fucking weird.
Ew, I didn't think about it like that. But basically, a person would be given an apple that was like theirs. And if the person that was trying to court them could bite the apple on the first try, it meant that it was fate for those two people to be together and they should get married. If they got it on the second try, it meant that they could court, but it probably wouldn't last. And any more tries than that meant that they shouldn't even bother. So they left it up to the apples. And this game was also used to try to find a person's soulmate. You could go in blindly without anybody in mind and just grab an apple, and that apple would reveal to you who you should date.
Who in the fuck came up with this?
Crazy.
Probably the same person that came up with online dating.
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think those are two different
I just didn't
centuries.
know how else to respond.
But who the fuck is like, hey, let me see you suck that apple. That one's got your name on it.
No.
If you get it first try, I'll marry you. Second try, I'll let you touch my apples for a little bit.
It meant they were a good hunter and gatherer.
I wonder how many failed marriages came from that.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it really doesn't matter who was the bobber, whether it was the female or the male.
Yeah.
Like, if you can suck that apple first try, I know that you can fucking get a pig. I know you're gonna bring home the carrots. Like,
I don't know. I don't.
I know that's what I'm saying. Whose logic was it like
Okay.
some king that, or I guess not king yet, but like a prince that was like, I gotta find a fucking princess, dude, and I can't do it. Hey, my loyal subject, help me find a woman. And he's like, fucking easy, dude. Whoever can suck that apple out of that fucking bucket over there full of water. And he's
What
like,
else
hey,
did you have to do back then, you know?
fucking fair. But then at some point, when like television and radio became available, you could have been like, hey, stop sucking that fucking apple out of that bucket, bud. That's weird. And not brought it to the classroom.
And then my final tradition is the traditional Halloween colors, black and orange. These,
More of a fan of red and yellow.
I know, these colors exist because they represent the death of the summer, which is shown in the color black, and the orange is said to represent the autumn harvest. And that's why we have black and orange. I don't know where the purple came from, but it's there too.
Aesthetics.
But I thought that was really cool because I didn't know that basically every little thing about Halloween has a reason. Nova covered the skeletons.
Except for really recently discovered there's no real reason for bobbing for fucking apples.
Not anymore. That's what I want somebody to do is, you know how for a while there, a couple of years ago, people were doing like the what's it called? The 2-minute dating things where people would go a bunch of singles and they'd have 2 minutes to sit down and
Oh,
have a
speed
conversation.
dating?
Speed dating.
Yeah, speed dating. I want somebody to do a speed dating party and then everybody shows up and then it's just a big bucket of apples in the middle of the room.
Bob, bitches, Bob.
Everybody's leaving with a date.
And there's just one old lady that's like, fuck, I know what this means. And she fucking goes, ham.
I've been practicing.
I trained for this.
But that's all of the research I have. If you want to know more about Halloween traditions and why we celebrate Halloween, join us in a year and we'll probably have more information.
Don't count on it.
I will stock up on vitamin C and garlic. I've had so much garlic.
Yeah, she's consuming it. It's not for vampires. It's not to
Mm-mm.
ward anybody off.
No, but I saw this TikTok that said if you eat raw garlic cloves or like take them like pills, you will wake up the next day and be completely cured. Those people are liars. They lied.
It's like that potato slice hack too. I don't know if
No,
you
that shit
remember that
works.
one or not.
You slice potatoes, put it on your feet, go to bed, you wake up, you're fine. Ask Cash. It has saved him before on overnights too, when your immune system is at its lowest. I consumed 6 raw garlic cloves and I'm still sick. It's been like a week now. Don't do it.
Unless you're scared of vampires and you really like garlic.
Yeah.
Or if somebody's trying to get you to bob for their apple, nobody's going to want to fucking go near you with that stank ass garlic
Like
breath.
garlic breath, yeah.
Coming in clutch.
Tag us in your Halloween costume photos. We want to see that. We want to see your costumes. Thank you for joining us. You can find us on social media. We have a TikTok and an Instagram. Both are Anxious at Bedtime. Please like, follow, subscribe, rate, tell your friends, make your parents listen. Anybody in your life that loves chaos and
Play this in the background routinely.
huge shout out to our loyal followers. We love and support you guys so much. Thank you for tuning in weekly, despite the shit show that we keep producing.
You're welcome.
We really are having a blast. That being said, we might not have an episode next week. We'll see.
Yeah, we may have to take a week off, not because any serious issues or anything, but
No.
because yeah, we want to take a week off.
Yeah, you just listened to the episode we produced this week, and all of us are getting sick now. It's not just me. So we will see how this week goes. But yeah, thank you guys.
The world might be a scary place with Dias des Muertes, Halloween, Samhain, Stingy Jack. He's out there, but we're probably fine.
We're probably fine.
We're probably fine.
And tune in next week when we don't have anything. Maybe.
We love y'all. Sleep tight and happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
Happy Halloween.
End the recording.
Oh, bye, guys.
Here's a creepy little bonus clip. We stopped in the middle of recording to take a break, and this is what we caught on our mic. You tell me, aliens or not?
It sounded like you said, "Are there aliens in the bathroom?"
We did, because I should have recorded it. I'll put it in the episode. Yeah, because it sounded like you were in there talking to aliens.